The day of reckoning is upon us, and we are all here for it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to StayWeighedIn YouTube channel. I'm joined by my man Ray. How are we doing?
Listen, man, gonna cap off the. Do you know what? I honestly forgot about this fight. I forgot. I'll be honest with you, because I was thinking, what weekend we've had to cap off combat sports for the year, and then when he said no day of reckoning, I was just like, oh yeah. And we don't know what's even crazier. I thought to cap off the year, I was thinking about Inouye's undisputed fight on Boxing Day. So for all those waking up Boxing Day, early morning, there's a good fight in Japan, Inoue for undisputed in the second weight division, a year on from when he got, what was it, featherweight, and this is super featherweight.
No,
he was super bantamweight, and this is featherweight.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's obviously gonna look to become undisputed a year on from when he became undisputed at super bantam. So yeah, no, but then when you mentioned their reckoning, I said, fair enough, man, fair enough.
But yeah, let's go into it, because I think one of the things about this card that probably isn't like other cards is we have fights that people want to tune in probably from the start. We've said it before, we've said it constantly, that a lot of boxing fans will come for the main event, won't stay for everything beforehand. But here we've got what we're classing as a double main event, followed by somewhat of a stacked undercard. So we'll go straight into it. Let's talk Deontay Wilder. He's been out of the ring for a very long time. The rumors were they were going to fight, make a WBC mandatory between him and Andy Ruiz. Didn't materialize. Just quickly, shout out to Showtime Boxing. Final show yesterday.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Showtime Boxing.
I see the tributes on Twitter. Obviously, we used to see.
Awesome for Showtime Boxing, man. Shout out my guy David Morrell on the final bout. He's the guy to look out for. So look out for David Morrell.
But yeah, we would have probably seen that fight on Showtime itself. Yeah. But it doesn't look like we're going to get that materialized. But now he is fighting, just want to double check, Joseph Parker. Talk to me about this fight and what we expect more from Deontay Wilder.
There's nothing more to expect. He's not going to add nothing new to his game. He's going to go in there, swing for the fences like he usually does, and hope to land. That at this point of his career, where is he, late 30s? There's nothing new he's going to add to the fold. I've been controversial, and I don't even know it's controversial in saying this, but I want Joseph Parker to win. I don't. At this point, I do not care. The way some people want AJ and Wilder, I don't care for it. I want AJ to go win his fight, and I believe if he wins this fight, he automatically becomes the #1 contender for IBF. So then once the undisputed fight happens, he gets to fight for the IBF belt with Hrgovic and become 3-time world champion. That's honestly, at this point, I don't care about the Wilder fight. Ban him.
I was going to say that, do you think Parker can upset the cards on this? Because I know Saudi's got something lined up. Saudi's got, which we'll touch on soon. Yeah. But Saudi has got something for 2024 when it comes to heavyweight. So can Joseph Parker upset the cards on this?
He's been brought in as a guy, let's be honest, he's been brought in as a guy that's reputable enough, but it's hittable enough that Wilder should be able to land that punch at some point. What I do hope is that working with Fury, Joseph Parker goes in there and just learns to employ certain tactics to get that win. And then, yeah, I don't know what it is with Wilder. I don't care no more. I do not care about the AJ Wilder fight. I don't care. The way some people, I think, obviously, because it didn't happen in time prior, people are upset. And as much as people want to try to do this blame AJ thing, Wilder's already baited himself up. The tweets are still out there where he goes to, I think when he was getting on to Fury about the rematch, where he said, I could have taken the AJ fight and I chose to take less money to fight you. So all that, after that, I was just like, I don't care about Wilder no more, because the guy is just more talk. So it'll be interesting to see the fight. At this point, yeah, I'm just not too fussed about that fight, I'll be honest with you.
And then on the other side, then we've got AJ fighting Otto Wallin. Now, the reason why you can give this fight a bit of credential is because the fact that we had one Tyson Fury fight, Otto Wallin, struggled. And I will say this until, I don't know, when I leave this world. If that was another fighter who fought and not Tyson Fury, that fight was going to be stopped because they weren't allowing that cut to carry on for longer than it had. But then you touched on Joshua himself. I think if he wins this fight, obviously in 2024, it looks like in March, I believe, Saudi have the presumed fight of Wilder versus Joshua. By what you say, you don't want him to go down that particular route.
That is the funny thing is as well. That's such a quick turnaround. I know, obviously, because his Riyadh season will be ending just before that. But I was just like, if they're gonna do such a quick turnaround, they should have done this fighting like now or a few weeks earlier, either late November or now. Because what is it on the 29th? If I'm correct,
23rd.
Brother, I might. Wait, no. Let's double check this. Hold on.
But just before Christmas, everyone's getting a Christmas present.
No, shout out iPhone users. I'm trying to think. Is my dates absolutely off right now? I thought it was basically New Year's Eve. Oh yeah, Saturday 23rd. Fair enough. Yeah, but even so, I feel like it is a fight that should have been done earlier if they want such a quick turnaround to March. But we'll see. We'll see. It also depends on how much damage each of the guys take. Hopefully, they don't take too much damage. But yeah,
you said it, but I think kind of like how when Fury fought Ngannou, and then we were like, oh, he's gonna fight in December again. And let's be frank, we weren't having this card if Fury and Usyk were able to do. Is there a little bit of complacency between both guys? You could say that, thinking this is one of them stepping stone fights. We'll get a bit of a payday. We push it out to the fans in Saudi Arabia, and then both fans know what they're. Because at the end of the day, we know what we're gonna get. If both guys win, whoever headlines, I'm guessing it'll be AJ. We're gonna get that.
Yeah.
That meeting between.
He's still the A side. Despite all the critics, he's still the A side. You still know AJ more than anyone else. Love him or hate him is AJ, but I get it because obviously for the Saudis, I think it was more of they wanted to throw a teaser out there to what the bigger event will be between AJ and Wilder, and obviously they've also got the real fight that I'm looking forward to, undisputed Fury versus Usyk. That's the one I'm really. Everything else is just like it's fancy decoration. I want to know who is finally going to be undisputed heavyweight champ of the world. That's the real one. So this AJ one, I think, is also that's going to be good to get him active again. This is going to be what his third fight in a year. Yeah. So he's like, listen, he kept his word. He said he wanted to be active. People thought he was lying. Listen, that's an active AJ. Hopefully he gets to show off more of what he's learned. I know it's a bit of a tricky one because I don't know, maybe because of circumstances, he's not doing his camp in America. He's still with Derek James, but he's just not doing his camp in America. So it'll be interesting to see whether that's good because I think everyone wants to see just the implementation of Derek James's plan into his new, like how he looks with this new coach. So not having him is a bit tricky, but maybe it's time scale, timing, who knows, like scheduling. You never know what happened behind the scenes, but hopefully, I just want AJ to put on a dominant performance. He's coming towards the twilight of his career, so I just want him to have one last good run, and then 3-time world champion.
One fight that I gotta talk about just quickly, and then we'll rack up some of the other names and what your overall thoughts of the card is. Lyndon Arthur versus Dmitry Bivol. I think this is probably a fight that if you asked anybody 12 months ago, you wouldn't have heard of it happening. Is this one of them things where you get the opportunity and regardless of the risk, you take the opportunity? Because we've touched on British fighters who have pushed off the opportunity because they want to make a domesticated fight, don't want to lose certain records and stuff. But Lyndon Arthur, has he got anything to lose in this?
Listen, shout out Lyndon Arthur. Because if you listened to this podcast from years ago, after his fight with Yard, I liked how him and his team conducted themselves. I like how he doesn't change himself as a person. He's like quite reserved and everything. And obviously, I think after the Yard fight, he was meant to have a world title shot. Obviously, they had a rematch clause, but I think initially his thing was, let me get my world title shot. If I get the world title shot, let me rematch Yard. Fisheye screwed him over. and then he got his new deal with Wasserman, and then he's just been slowly building. Are the odds in his favor? Not really. Is it even harder because he's facing Bivol? Absolutely. However, the way that he rebuilt his career after the losses, and he's just like finally getting a world title shot he should have got years ago. I'm so happy for him. I hope as well he's able to get a big bag doing this in Saudi because he deserves it. Him and his team deserve it. So I wish him all the best for the fight. Like I said, are odds in his favor? No, but I'm still rooting for him regardless. So come on, 0161 man on the map. Let's
I was
do
going to
this.
say, you said that the odds are in his favor, but we saw at the start of this year Anthony Yard fighting Better BF, and we didn't expect the performance that we're going to.
Oh yeah.
Is there potential that even in a loss he comes off very strong?
I hope so. That's my thing is I hope so, because I feel like if Arthur wins, he can bring the belt to the UK and have the big UK fights that maybe people that may not have been chatting his name are going to start chatting. I know that initially they wanted to do Craig Richards for the IBO title, so I would even like that if somehow Lyndon Arthur gets a shock victory, if he can get that belt, bring it to the UK and face Craig Richards in a nice domestic scrap, especially with the way a lot of UK guys haven't been gagging for the world title. Like I feel like they should. I'm rooting for him, because outside of, to be fair, Yard done it. Yard's gone for the gusto, even though he's come up short twice. But in this life, you got to go for it. You got Callum Smith. Remember, next month, Callum Smith is going against Better Beaver as well. So shout out him. So hopefully, Lyndon Arthur can do a job against Bivol and then bring that belt back.
I was going to say, would you prefer to see Lyndon Arthur upset the apple cards and win the world title, or would you prefer to see the path that people expect to happen after January? So Better BF, Dmitry Bivol, both clean up and then go do this fight that everyone's been waiting for.
I can't lie, I'm rooting for Lyndon Arthur. However, if Bivol wins, then hopefully the Saudis come together, and then that same card that's got AJ and Wilder potentially, that's when you throw that bag at Bivol and Better Beav's promoters and say, listen, big boy money, let's make that fight happen with Better Beav and Bivol undisputed. And it's what the boxing world deserves, especially Better Beav is getting older, and I don't want it to be a case of when the fight actually does happen, it's gonna be like, rah, if Better Beav was to lose, he's too old, this, that, and a third, because he is old, but I just don't want it to be an excuse. It's a catch-22 because it is a built-in excuse. His age is his age. So hopefully we can get this fight done as soon as possible, and age isn't too much of a factor when it does happen.
And then just glossing over some of the other names we've got on this card, we've got Daniel Dubois, Big Baby Miller, Hergovich. Have the Saudis done well to be able to get all these names? I know obviously they've thrown the money at them, but is Saudi basically the future of boxing in terms of getting the big cards? I obviously you get the American guys, which is one thing, but you see the heavyweight divisions, the light heavyweights and stuff like that. That may not be as big in America the way you got like the welterweights and the lightweights and stuff like that. Is the future for them basically fighting in Saudi Arabia at this moment in time?
Yes and no. Yes, in the short term, because I feel like what they're basically doing is maximizing the current stars of now. However, I've also been saying this for a while. After this current crop of stars, so the AJs, the Canelos, the Tyson Furies, there's not too many international big superstars in boxing once that generation is done. So I think they're trying to like maximize the names of the guys now, because in the future, I'll call him a star. I can't call him a superstar yet because he hasn't got a world title. But obviously there's Gervonta Tank Davis. Then you got Devin Haney that's also building his own lane, but I don't think those guys have that crossover appeal yet to do the Saudi thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say they seem to be, and I think also it relates a little bit to the weight class. I know
Yeah.
Tank Davis is a knockout artist, but because, and again, this is just me throwing out hyperbole, so because the Saudi people that will come to watch will probably want to watch and want to be big sweaty men beating each other up, rather than skinny, smaller guys who are probably a bit little and stuff like that.
I definitely agree, but then I also agree. I feel like you know how the Americans are, that they want to do it big on their side. Whereas obviously, I feel like with a lot of the other international superstars, so whether it be the UK or other European-based fighters, or like the ones that don't have the bigger TV deals in America, they're down to go to Saudi because it's just like they're cool being international. Where you know how it is with a lot of Americans, they're like doing it on their soil. They think that they're like. It's even the same way you see some Americans speak on Inoue. Like as great as Inoue is, for some of them, it's like because he doesn't fight there. Apparently, he's not as great as he is, and it's just like boxing is international. You're meant if you're a world champion, you should be fighting internationally. And I feel this is what is setting a good precedent for it. But like I said, after this crop of fighters go, who's going to be the next star to carry the flag? And it might, at this rate, Haney might, well, at least in the Western world anyway, Haney might be the guy. But I just don't see, because what, let's say AJ, Usyk, because we also don't know. Usyk might retire after he gets undisputed. I think he's alluded to that. I think he's alluded to the fact that once he gets undisputed, he's going to be done. He's not going to be in the, he doesn't want to be in the game too much longer because obviously he's had an extensive amateur career. He's been undisputed at cruiserweight. Boxing is not a game, so get out soon. But then what AJ? So AJ's maybe got what, maybe 2 or 3 years left. Same with Fury. He might have Fury's got 1 or 2. I think after this undisputed fight.
I honestly believe the reason AJ can do what he can do is because he had the layoffs that he did, but also he's aiming for something.
Yeah.
So there's the aim for that. I don't know if Fury beats Usyk if the motivation is there to fight as continuously as someone like AJ is aiming for anything.
Or I feel like if Fury was to win, he would do the AJ fight. But that will be the big, as in that will be the AJ fight will be the big. I am done. No, like I think the AJ fight will be the big money payday that he wants. That's the end game for Fury if he gets through Usyk. But then, like I said, that means if all them guys, you got 2-3 years max. After that, that's when I think Saudi will be like, it's not enough money in boxing. Because they might even recoup on this. A lot of these are like, what do they call it? Lost leaders. Yeah. A lot of these events are lost leaders for them. It's just more about, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes, but I can't imagine it being for too long. So enjoy it where it is. And I think every now and then for big fights that they want to see, they'll put it on, but I don't think it's gonna be regular. So appreciate what this is now and just enjoy the events. Nice, match just before Christmas.
I was gonna say, and nice timing as well. I think the time.
Yeah.
Undercard starts at 4 p.m. We might get main events at 9. We don't need to be.
We're eating good. Listen, end of the year, we're eating that last. Think about it. They're reckoning
Christmas, your belly's full. You watch a bit of boxing on Sky. It's nice.
Yeah, then in a way, the next day that's gonna be early morning, probably what 1, 2, 3 p.m.
No, earlier. I would say 11. So you could be toasty in bed.
Yeah. Oh man, beautiful. Good way to end the year.
Well, just quickly want to touch on this then, because obviously this fight initially announced that it was going to be on DAZN, and I think it is on DAZN internationally for everybody as well. But now it's obviously also with TNT Sports, the cross promotion side of Eddie and Frank Warren, Matchroom, and Queensberry.
Yeah.
Do we expect this? If we can do it once for Saudi, can we continue to get this?
No.
Or is it just because the bag is so strong?
The bag is so strong. That's it. Listen, when the bag is so, because you gotta remember, normally what happens when all these networks have this battle is because they're like, well, we want to get paid. No, we want to get paid, and that's where the battle comes in. when the Saudis come in with the biggest bag and just be like, listen, everyone gets paid. All right, cool. We'll get. Do you get what I'm saying? We can all get along if everyone gets, and no one has to fight over the bag. When no one has to fight over the bag, this is what happens. But that type of money isn't always going to be there. So that's what I'm saying. Enjoy this whilst you can. I'm just happy. I'm rooting for AJ. I'm rooting for Lyndon Arthur. Everything else is just a bonus.
Okay, with that, we are going to wrap up today's episode of the StayWeighedIn podcast. As always, join the content, drop a like, share, subscribe. We'll do our best to recap everything that happens as well, because it is going to be Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Might be a bit techy, but we'll work our way through it.
Yeah.
But as always, guys, until next time, stay weighted in.
Bismillah.